Hello and welcome to Denise Trading. Sorry this video took long, but I wanted to make sure that there were all the aspects that needed to be in this video. So this video is not going to be a 1 hour long or 2 hour long video that tells you every single detail about everything, but what you will know is everything you need to know to be able to go out there and do your own option plays. So I also made sure to leave timestamps down there, so if you have any questions, go down to the specific part that you need help with and go and look at that part of the video. But first, let me take you down to the outline of what we're going to go through. First, we're going to go and look into what call options are and what put options are. Then we'll go over what in the money options are, what out of the money options are, and what break-even point means. Then we're going to go into what some of the Greeks are, especially what the delta and the theta means. And then we'll look into certain aspects such as the volume, open interest, and the implied volatility. Then lastly, I will go into Robinhood and show you how you can actually buy a call contract and how to sell a call contract. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. So I'm going to use Apple as an example today. And to make sure that you know where to go and buy or sell your call options, here, if your option plays are enabled, you can go and click here. And it'll give you an option to either buy or sell or trade options. And let's say you don't have this option, trade options allowed, what you can do to go enable it is go to your person here, click here, go to investing, and then if you go all the way down here, it should give you an option right here to say enable options, and make sure you enable option trading, and that way you can actually go and trade options. Okay, so now that we know that, let's go to Apple, and I'm going to use Apple as an example of how to do option play. So for call option, a call option means that you think that the stock price is going to go up in the future. Vice versa, a put option is something called you're shorting the stock. That means you think that the stock price is going to go down in the future. So if you look at a call option, right, here is an example of call option that I have. And I'm going to use Apple as an example. We see that there are points here, and this right here is the stock price. This is the price that the stock is currently at. And we see that these all over here are called out of the money options, and all that are below here are called in the money options. And don't worry about that, we will go into that later on in the video. But what I wanted you to know is that for a call option, you are technically buying a contract, and that contract consists of 100 shares of that company. And in order to get that 100 shares of the company, you pay a premium. And if you look here, these prices right here are called a premium. This is a premium, this is a premium, this is a premium, this is a premium, this is a premium. So let's just say that right now we're going to buy this call option, right? This one right here. And to buy this call option, we're going to have to pay a premium. And the premium that we're paying is this right here, $1.99. Okay, I know at first hand when you look at it, oh, it's only $1 or $2. I will definitely go and buy this option. But remember, since you're buying 100 shares of this company, what ends up happening is you're going to do 1.99 times 100, and this will give you $199 to buy that one contract. And in that one call contract, you have 100 shares of Apple. And know that since this is on the December 18th, this is the day that we pick. That means this call contract will expire. This call contract will expire on the 18th of December. Now, one thing is very important to know. If this call contract is going to expire on the December the 18th, what you need to happen is for this call option to be above this price, this break-even point, right? If, let's say, you your contract is above $128.99 before expiration date, you're gonna make money. And let's say this is for expiration, right? I want to explain this even though most of us will never let our contracts expire. Please, if you get one thing from this video, make sure you understand that if you're going to buy a call contract or a put contract, please do not let both of those contracts expire. And I'll tell you the reason why. So let's just say on the expiration date, you bought this call contract, right? So you paid $199 to buy one call contract, okay, that expires on the 18th of December, and your break-even point right here is 128.99. Okay, now what will happen? Let's say on the 18th, okay, on the 18th or during expiration, the Apple stock price is below 128.99. Let's say it's at $128. So what will happen? What will happen is you will not lose, you're not breaking even, right? So what will happen is you will lose most of that $199. So maybe you'll be left with $30, $20, but since we're gonna let it expire, you're gonna lose all of it. Now, second scenario is, let's just say on the 18th of December, your the Apple stock price ends up being $129, okay, which is great. Now, since the stock price, since it's a call option and the stock price is above 128, what you end up doing is you'll be getting profit. You'll be making money. I can't say for sure how much, but you will be making money. And the reason we don't want to let these expire is because of specific things that happen during expiration date. So let's just say we have, I don't know, 100K in our portfolio, and I know most of us don't. This is the very reason I do not want you guys to let your contracts expire. Let's say you have 100K, okay, and or maybe 200K. And what happens during expiration date is, since you bought this call contract at, let's say, what was it, 127, since you bought it at 127 and you let it expire at 129, what ends up happening is the person who actually sold that contract for you, he will have to sell you 100 shares of Apple at this price, even though the current Apple price is at $129. So he will be losing around $200. And that's how much you'll be making. But since you do not have this 200K capital to actually buy that 100 shares of Apple at $127, you most likely will not be doing this. So please don't be doing this. Just make sure, if your portfolio, like mine, is under 25K, do not let your call options and put options expire. But let's just say you're doing spreads, credit spreads, debit spreads, then yeah, you can let those expire. But make sure, if it's just a call option or put option, do not let them expire. Okay, so now you know what the call option is. Now let's go over what the put option are. It's exactly the same, except it's the opposite. So when you're doing a put option, you're saying that you want the stock to go under the starting price. So it's the same principle as the call option, except everything is reversed, okay? And I'll show you that right now. So here are the put options. Exact same thing applies. You know that, but one thing you do need to remember is, since this is a put option and we want the stock to go down, everything here is considered everything here is considered out of the money options. And everything above here is called in the money option. And since this is the current price of Apple currently, and let's say you think that the stock price of Apple will go down in the future. So let's say you buy this put option. Same thing applies. This currently right here is the premium. So you're paying $111 to buy one put contract. So when you buy this put contract, you will get assigned 100 shares of Apple at $111. Now we're looking at also the break-even point and this. So now that you understood that we do not want these contracts to expire during expiration date, we kind of don't need to worry about break-even point, right? Because it's not going to matter. As long as you see that the stock price is going down, you will be making profit. However, it's always safe to know that if your stock price is below the break-even point of $125.89, you will be making more money. So that's the gist of it. Now, I hope you understand what a call option is and what a put option is. Now, let's go into what in the money options are and out of the money options are. Now, I'll take you back to the call option because I want to make sure you understand this. Let's get rid of all of this. And just focus on in the money options and out of the money options for now. So for the call option specifically, all of this is called in the money option. It's in the money option because the current stock price is $127.57 and everything that's below is called in the money option. And everything that's above this point is called out of the money option. Okay? And why is this important, you may ask? Now, one very important thing to look at is if you look at the premiums, right? If you look at all these premiums, or the amount of money you pay to buy one call option is higher for in the money options. Okay? So it's higher for in the money options. And you may be asking, why is it higher for in the money options? Why are premiums so much higher the lower you go, right? You can see for 127 call, it's only $200. For 126 call, it's almost $263. 125 call is $338. So the lower you keep going, the more and more it's going to cost you to buy this contract. Now, here comes the reason why they're costly. If you look at the break-even point, right? You see how the break-even point here is 128.99. Here is 128.63, and here, I'm sorry, I don't have it. Let's just say it's 128. Okay, you see how the break-even point is going lower and lower and lower. This means if the stock price is 127.57, it's easier for, let's just say I bought this contract, right? I bought this call contract. I bought this call contract, a 125 call contract, okay? And I paid $338 for it, okay? Now, is it easier for me to get to $128 for this stock with the $125 call option, or with, let's just say this one right here? I bought another one out of the money call option for $129 and I only paid $104 for it, but the break-even point is $130. So now you tell me which looks more appealing or easier to make more money. Is the $125 call, right? Because even though you paid higher premium, the stock price is $127.57, and it's easier for it to reach $128 than it is to reach $130, correct? So that is why in the money options are a little bit more expensive than the out of the money option. However, almost 90% of the people will go for out of the money options, because if you know that there's a bull flag, or if the Apple stock is having catalyst or some kind of great news that will propel it forward, you're not going to want to buy this or this call option because it'll be more expensive in the future. This is cheaper, right? This is cheaper, 147, 104, okay? And you'll be making money. Although remember, in the money options, even though they're safer, they'll still give you money. Out of the money options are a little bit risky, but they will definitely give you a lot of money. Okay? Hopefully you get that. And the same thing applies for put options. If you see here, the same exact thing applies, however they're flipped. Okay? Capiche? Capiche. Now you understood what a call option is, what a put option is. You know what in the money options are and out of the money options are and how break-even point affects it. Now we'll go look into some of the Greeks, especially what delta means and what theta means. And then I'll tell you some of the things that you need to look for anytime you buy an option play. I'll see you there. Alright, welcome back. So when you open a call option, right, a contract, you need to look at these things. You need to look at the Greeks, okay? You need to look at the Greeks, you need to look at the volume, you need to look at the open interest, and you need to look at implied volatility. And we'll go over every single one of them. But make sure you understand these in depth. So anytime you go out there and do a call option or put option, you know which call option to get into because you're a smart and reasonable man and you understand how to do these plays. So first let's talk about delta. Okay, I took this out of the same call option for Apple. So I'm going to use Apple as an example. And if you're wondering, oh my god, Nee, how did you get to this page? Well, I'll show you right now. So let's open up Robinhood. Okay. So, like I told you guys, this is an example. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to go to this $128 call option, right? So if you want to buy a call option or do anything, what you're going to do is first, again, go to trade, right? Go to options, then pick the date. Here are the dates. This is the December 18th, 24th, 31st, 21st. And I'll tell you why you don't want to pick December 18th, because it's the week of. You want to make sure you always pick 2 weeks or onwards, because it's safer and a lot better. And I also mentioned in my previous videos to always manage your risks and pick dates that are at least 2 weeks ahead. Okay, so we're just going to use the 18th as an example. So let's say you want to buy this contract. We click on it. Once you click on it, you get to this page. And now here's the important part. You see how it says bid 1.45, ask 1.48, and there's a down arrow there. You click on that down arrow. This will give you all the statistics you need in order to make a proper judgment call on if you'd buy this option or not. Okay, great. Now that we know that, let's get back onto this, okay? So first, delta. Delta is important. Here we see the delta is 0.4936. Let's just round that to 0.5 for easy number's sake. So what this means, this is very important, okay? So what this delta means is that, let's just say the stock price currently for Apple is $127, okay? Right now, when we're buying this call option, let's say that the call option, that the stock price of Apple is $127, okay? And what I did was I bought the $129 call option, right? And if you see, no, I bought the 128, sorry. I bought the 128 with the 129.47 break-even point, okay? So I bought the $128 call with a break-even of 129.4. Let's just keep it at that. So this is what delta means. So now we know the delta is 0.5. So anytime Apple price goes up by $1, so let's just say few hours pass and now the Apple price is $128, okay? So it went up $1. So since it went up $1, This delta is how much profit you'll be making for owning 100 shares of the company, of the stock. So what you would get is you would get $50 profit. That's how much profit you would be making. Now, same thing. If, let's just say, 24 hours pass, or maybe 3 hours pass, and it's about to close. Now the Apple price is $130. Okay? Now here you see it went up $2, right? The stock price went up $2. So you'll be making 0.5 times 2, which is 1, times 100, which is 100. So you'll be making $100 profit. And if you add this 50 to it, your total profit will be $150. Understood? So that's what the delta means. You want to make sure anytime you're buying a call option or a put option, make sure that delta is very high. The higher your delta, the more money you make. Let's say instead of 0.5, the delta is 0.92. Why not? So anytime the Apple stock goes up by $1, you'll be making $92 back. Okay? That's how you gotta think. Now, theta is the opposite. You want to make sure theta is as low as possible. Alright? You want to make sure theta is low as possible, because anytime theta goes up or your theta is higher than your delta, you're not making money, you're actually losing money. Okay? Just know that. You want to make sure your theta is low and is lower than your delta. Okay? And let's just say if your delta, right? If your delta is, let's say, 0.5 and your theta is negative 0.5, would you buy this option? Write down below. Because I would not buy this option at all. Because you're not making money, you're not losing money. You just paid a premium to just let your option sit. And if it expires, you're actually losing money, right? So you do not want this ever. What you want is something like this. Something like this. This is a perfect example of what you need to buy into. Okay? So make sure you look for something with a delta that's very high and theta that's very low. Capiche? Capiche. And if you're wondering, oh my god, is this going to be the exact same for the put option? Well, it is. I'll show you. Let's go open another one for the put option. Go here. Now if you look, here the delta is negative and theta is negative. And that's how it should be, because we are expecting the stock price to go down. So anytime for put options, you'll see that delta is going to be negative 0.4 or negative 0.6 or anything like that. Just make sure here the value for delta is still higher than the value of theta. That's all you need to know. Okay. Now, some things you also need to look into is the volume, right? You need to look into the volume, the open interest, implied volatility, and we'll go into that right now. So you really want to make sure that the volume is very high, at least over 5,000, okay? Not dollars, sorry, 5,000. You see how this is 100K? That's way more than good enough, okay? You really want to get into this. Open interest is also very high. Make sure the open interest is also above 1,000. This is 26,000. Perfect. Excellent. Implied volatility. You want to make sure implied volatility is lower than 100%. And that is 33. Perfect. So why are these important, you may be asking? So you want the volume to be high because you want to go into something knowing that other people are going into it as well, right? If the volume is very low, let's just say you made a $500 profit or $600 profit on this contract and you're trying to sell it back and make, secure your profits. If the volume is low, you will not be able to sell, okay? That means you have to let your things expire, which, like I told you, we don't want that to happen. So always make sure your volume is high, your open interest is high. Open interest pretty much means people who don't have this option but are interested in the future to actually buy into this, okay? And implied volatility is also kind of important. we want our implied volatility to be low. And the reason being, let's say if the implied volatility is low, what it's saying is the stock price, so $125 right now, is what it should be, right? So if the implied volatility is low, it's saying that $127 for Apple contract is correct. That is the amount of price that the stock should be, and it is at that point. Let's say if the implied volatility is very high, let's just say like 200 or 300%, right? That means that the stock price of $127 is way too overvalued. That means, let's just say the Apple stock price right now is $127, and if the implied volatility is 300%, that means this $127 is not its actual stock price or price that it's worth. Its worth is actually way lower. That's what it means. And since Apple is a very good stock and very good company, the implied volatility is very low. And that's one thing you need to look for. Look for option plays that have very low implied volatility. Okay, very good. Now you're perfect. You mastered very important and diligent things in order for you to do an option play. You know what a call option is, you know what a put option is. You know what in the money options are, out of the money options are, or what break-even point is. You know how to look for the Greeks, especially the delta and theta. You want to make sure delta is high, theta is low. Then you know how to look for other statistics such as the volume, open interest, and implied volatility. Now, I'll show you a video of how to close your options and how to open a call option. So this I recorded on my phone and it's a live recording. So I just want to make sure that show you how things happened. I went on LCA and then I put one contract and I tried to sell it. And most of the times, guys, this is going to happen to all of us. So it's okay if this happens. You notice how when I put my order in and I placed it in, it didn't sell automatically. So what most people do is wait a little bit and then sell it, or it'll wait until it automatically sold. And I was a little impatient, so I went back and I tried to readjust the price and sell it again. And here you can see again, it will not sell because I'm kind of going a little higher than what I should have. So I decided, screw it, I'll go back and I'll adjust the price. Instead of 7.15 like it's telling me, I'll go and put 7.10 and let's see how it goes. And you can see it automatically accepted it, and that was it. So guys, I tried to slow this video down because I go pretty fast. I clicked on trade and then I went to trade options. Second thing I did was I went to the dates. As I mentioned, I picked the January 15th, 2021. And I wanted to do the $5 call because I think that nano dimensions or NDM will go above $7.5 in the future. And here you'll see me looking at the Greeks and everything else to make sure it's okay. And I know it's not perfect, it's not what we went over, but sometimes you won't get the perfect ideals, so I went with what I thought would be best. And at first you saw me trying to buy 2 contracts, and then I realized that I don't have enough capital, so I buy 1 and I put my price, and as you guys can see, it's done. Thank you. Great. Now that you saw everything that you needed, I hope you go out there and make sure you go out there and do safe option plays. In the future, I will be uploading videos and telling you what options I'm getting into and what I think you'll be getting, what you should get into, because they are very good option plays. If you have any questions, please write them down in the comment below and I will gladly help you guys. And I know this video is not very long, but it does have enough information for you to go out there and do your own call options or put options. Stay safe and make that money. See you guys later.